and Danny a little bit earlier today. Jeff with his innovative blue-white control deck. You can find his deck on our coverage page. For Danny, he's Obs on control. Pretty straightforward stuff on the left side here for Jessup. He's got a few new cards in Languish, which doesn't play a huge role in this matchup, though. It could come up a little bit because what Jeff's doing with the Thopters.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a creature base, but Languish won't be very powerful in this matchup most times.
And that is the Polluted Delta there from Hoogland. Jessup will play a Windswept Teeth. He'll pass the turn back.
So the real innovation going on in Jeff's list here is Thopter Spy Network.
Yes.
To that end, he's playing Hangerback Walker and Darksteel Citadel as facilitators. And we saw Thopter Spy Network in one game run amok against Obzon when it was not contested.
You get to have some real fun with it. Here's Artificer's Epiphany. Jeff going to sacrifice Blue Delta to get an island, and he'll cast that. He does have an artifact on the battlefield thanks to the Darksteel Citadel.
Boom.
You know what that is?
Good deck building.
Yes, sir.
Synergistic. Artificer's Epiphany in combination with artifacts.
See, I knew you'd know.
Combo deck. I'm really excited about widening the definition of combo until it means nothing at all.
That's a good goal for us to
That's
have.
an actual combo here.
That's
actually a combo.
4 mana and Thopter Spy Network is a combo. You're right.
Yep. And Darksteel Citadel.
I'm aware.
It taps 4 mana and qualifies as an artifact for the artifact clause.
It does. And people thought they just printed Darksteel Citadel on accident. No. They had greater plans. So Jeff has his enchantment on the battlefield. And Obzon Control has moved away from Jamoko's command in the main deck.
Yes.
They don't have great answers to enchantments main. There's a forest, perhaps a Siege Rhino. Indeed. This is going to be the real test for me to see how good Jeff's deck really is, because he's playing around what is basically a normal Obzon mid-range / control deck. And can his deck go toe-to-toe with this strategy? Siege Rhinos, Den Protectors, Elspeths, all that stuff.
Well, we saw him win a game against Elspeth just by grinding it down, playing his own copy of Elspeth. To me, the vulnerability is Den Protector, not only because of what it does in a late game, but it's very hard for Jeff's deck to block.
Here comes Siege Rhino. See what Jessup's follow-up is going to be, as Hoogland's already down to 13. A lot of options here for Danny. Start with the Temple. Top card comes to the bottom. Here's another Rhino. See if Jeff has a counterspell. He does. He'll dissolve it. We'll see a scry here in just a moment. To the bottom go the cards. And now another Thopter. Token coming in. That'll trigger the Spy Network. So a card will be drawn here for Jeff. Now keep in mind, this card is not like Binding of Thassa.
Doesn't stack.
Yeah, if Jeff hits him with 2 Thopters, he doesn't get to draw 2 cards. It says if an artifact deals 1 or more damage in combat, you get to draw a card. Probably better that way. I think it might be too much of a cascading advantage.
Yeah, especially with this card where it's self-generating the tokens. If it's scaled off the number that hit, I think it'd be pretty frustrating and horrible to play against.
It is a cool card, though. I like it a lot. Cool design. Here comes the Rhino. Danny going to just cast some test spells. And this is what Obzon does. It just tries to beat you over the head with powerful stuff. You better have a counter for basically everything they're casting.
Exactly. I think that Danny may not know exactly what's going on right now, but this is the best thing that he can do.
Yeah.
Just cast powerful stuff and hope it's good enough.
Yeah, the way you beat what you don't know what's going on is, all right, Elspeth, I guess. Siege Rhino, Siege Rhino.
Yeah.
There's not really going to be any playing around anything because Jeff is playing an innovative deck where Danny certainly doesn't know the exact contents of what Jeff is playing. So just try to cast the most powerful spell that you can. So far, so good.
Yeah. Although if I'm in Danny's position, I'm probably feeling, you know, Jeff's drawing a bunch of cards each turn. He's got colors that can answer a lot of different stuff. Maybe I win this game, but I'm definitely not feeling good about my spot.
Jeff going to scry now with the temple. Time for beatdowns with just one, it appears. This allows Jeff to draw a card, of course.
Full hand on Jeff's side of the table.
Yeah, he's just got to cast the cards and hope that the cards are good enough to beat exactly what Jessup's up to. It's got to be both. For now, Jeff's going to pass with a bunch of mana up.
And Danny's in this position of, well, I don't know exactly what's going on right now, but all I can do is attack with my stuff and then cast my stuff that lets me attack.
Pretty much.
Hope that Jeff just has a handful of nonsense, and that's good enough to win.
Here comes the attack. There's some blockers. Looks like 5 damage might be coming through. We'll see. Yeah, looks like maybe a Swift Reckoning.
Boom. Debut.
Controls plenty of artifacts and enough spells in the graveyard to trigger the spell mastery. Destroy target tapped creature. That Siege Rhino was tapped, so you can play as an instant. So I thought it had flash.
This card is a much better deal than Assassinate.
Yes, it is.
It's a lot better than
Yeah,
Assassinate.
it's a touch better than Assassinate. That's why this one's uncommon, Assassinate's common. See?
Yep.
That's why.
Assassinate is also just not that powerful of a card. You can make more powerful versions. It just stands out.
A Morpheer, you have to imagine, is Den Protector. Now, though that was a good turn for Jeff, he's still got some work to do here.
Especially when Den Protector shows up, because the problem is that Jeff could stabilize and still just lose to random shots from things like Siege Rhino.
And we saw when we watched Jeff play last time, his deck was really soft with Den Protector, being a 3-2.
Yeah, you can see that a lot of his defensive plan involves just blocking with 1 power creatures, and that doesn't work against Den Protector.
Den Protector going to return Siege Rhino. Jeff will get a Thopter from his Spy Network, draw cards, copy of Elspeth. Going to come in for 1, gets to draw a card now. Is it time for Hoogland? Okay, that'll change some things.
Combo
Indeed.
with Thopters.
Yep. And there goes your whole board, Mr. Jessup.
Jeff has lost the Spy Network, but I feel like he's gotten enough cards out of it to not feel too bad about it.
I'd like to think so.
At a relatively high 9 life and a handful of cards. You gotta like your position if you're Jeff.
Abzan Charm the draw here for Jessup. He needs to rebuild it now. Appears it's going to be pretty tough to do. Does have an Elspeth in hand maybe to start things up.
Well, I don't know if he can start the turn with Elspeth, because Jeff can simply go bolt it with Hoogland, attack with my Thopters. So I think that Danny needs to get this off the table first and cast something else this turn and try to set up Elspeth for the following turn or the turn after.
Well, Hero's Downfall took care of Hoogland. And he sacrifices a fetch land. Let's hope he gets the Plains. I think we might have that Rhino on the way. And Jeff falling even lower. And there is Siege Rhino. There's a temple. Top card goes to the bottom. Here come the attackers. No blocking, of course, as those Thopters do have flying. And now here's Elspeth. That'll tick down, so Rhino will bite the dust. Jessup will untap. Again, Elspeth in hand. And drew another Siege Rhino.
Is that number 4?
I believe number 3. One was brought
Okay.
back with Den Protector.
Okay. Well, the 4th one he's casting.
Yes. It'd be hard for me to pass up on casting that.
I don't know how far Elspeth really gets Danny in this spot because Jeff has his own Elspeth he can plus, and with the Thopters in play, eventually Jeff gets ahead in the Elspeth race.
There is Elspeth.
There has been no nuance to Danny's game this game. It has just been individually powerful cards.
Yeah, can you beat this?
Yep.
Can you beat this? Keep doing that until you either find out if the answer is yes or no. Elspeth down to 3. Jeff's will move up to 2. 3 soldiers on the way.
And now at this point, Jeff cannot answer the Elspeth in play except by attacking. We've seen him do this before, but the only real clean answer in the entire deck is his 1 copy of Hoogland, and that's gone.
Jessup will draw. You saw Hanger Backwalker come down for Hoogland. Just a 1/1, however, leaving up a lot of mana to represent a bevy of things. Soldiers will be attacking, soldiers will be blocking, soldiers will be entering the battlefield. Elspeth up to 4 for Jessup. What's the follow-up, however?
Danny started to run out a little bit.
Yep. Obzon Charm, looking to draw some cards. Will this resolve? It appears that it will. 2 cards coming at the expense of 2 life. Den Protector is a big one. And you do wonder how much he tries to play around a card like Clash of Wills, if he does at all. It is relatively new, so you don't know if it's on his radar.
I'm sure it's on his radar. I just don't know how much waiting he can really do.
On the upkeep, Jessup's going to cast Hero's Downfall, go after Elspeth.
Now, he can be afford to be pretty patient here if this resolves, because then his Elspeth is giving him some inevitability. It puts the ball in Jeff's court. But if it's Elspeth against Elspeth, Danny really needs the essentially the burn spells to resolve, and that's Den Protector and Siege Rhino.
Well, Hero's Downfall does resolve. Thopters will come in, knock Elspeth down to 2. Now Jeff with another Elspeth, takes up to 5, 3 soldiers on the way, pass the turn back over to Jessup. Able to represent Dissolve here. Looks like Courser may have been the draw for Danny. So we'll see what's next for number 3 on our Season 3 leaderboard here on the Open Series.
In a bizarre matchup.
To say the least. He's really just stabbing around in the dark, trying to guess on what Jeff could have in his deck. Courser reveals a Thoughtseize. You have to imagine Danny's probably pretty happy to see that on top of the deck, getting a better idea of what's in Jeff's hand.
Yeah. Knowing if he has to play around Clash of Wills any further, opening an opportunity for Den Protector to sneak in, attack, and cast Siege Rhino to win the game.
It's all very valuable information at this point.
6 is a number of particular interests for Jeff's life total here, because Danny can cheat in damage in increments of 3 with the resources he has in his hand if everything breaks the right way.
Yeah, if Pachenko Cove or something shows up, things get a little more interesting. There's a morph. See if that resolves. Can't imagine Jeff is too thrilled. Got to know what that morph is.
Yeah.
Going to be Clash of Wills that's cast, it appears. He'll pay for it. Now this just opens things up for Jeff to kill it.
Or everything. Remember,
Yeah.
his list still plays with end hostilities.
It does. And this isn't a bad time to maybe go end hostilities. You know, attack with my 2 Thopters, put your Elspeth down to 1. End hostilities, I get a Thopter left over for my Hangerback Walker, and then take up my Elspeth. Yeah, and that's what it looks like we're going to see. Everything will die. And Jeff will up his Elspeth through more tokens. And
Essentially has the same board as he had before.
yep, with even the 3 mana available.
Yeah.
Not a bad turn.
And a replacement Hangerback Walker. It's
Well,
the
how
same
about that?
board.
It's literally the same board.
It's like nothing happened to Jeff's side.
Will Danny cast that Thoughtseize he just drew? The answer is yes. Hangerback Walker, Valorous Stance. Probably just take Valorous Stance.
Well, I'm not sure the Elspeth answers Siege Rhino
That's
the same
true.
way the Valor Stance does.
That's true. I guess the question is, you have to ask yourself, how much do you care about that extra Hangerback Walker? That much is very unclear at this point.
Yeah. Because it really only matters if Jeff finds another sweeper.
Well, Danny did decide to take the Valorous Stance. I still think now's a good time to play a Siege Rhino. Gives you life for other ones, and Den Protector. Increments of 3 is probably where you want to be. There is Siege Rhino. Jessup up to 16. Hoogland down to 3. Pass it back. We know Jeff's hand has a Hangerback Walker. Didn't get a great look at what he drew. I believe it may have been a Dissolve.
Any counterspell here is a huge draw for Jeff.
Indeed it is. Elspeth up to 7. Danny Jessup looks to be facing lethal next turn now. There's Hangerback Walker. That'll be for 2. Now Jessup. He'll draw. Looks like just a land.
Now, Danny's hand is land and Elspeth. That's no help here.
Nope. Just the hope for Jeff to make some sort of error. Looks like Siege Rhino's coming in. Soldier tokens too. Everything's gonna go after Elspeth. Gotta try to stop that thing from going ultimate. That's the plan here.
Looks like Jeff is going to offer up the Hangerback Walkers here.
Yeah, if they die, who cares?
Who cares?
It's not a big deal.
And Jeff's bizarre contraption takes game number 1.
Yes, it does. Jeff's blue-white control deck does win game number 1 here over Danny Jessup playing Obzon and Control as we get ready for the sideboards here. Nothing short about these games, as we said. Might speed up a little bit with the sideboards. We'll start actually with Danny and his 2 Duresses, his 2 Drown in Sorrows, his 2 Arishan Clerics. A Murderous Cut and a Johnny Mentor of Heroes, a Read the Bones or Dramoka's Command, a Glare of Heresy, an Ultimate Price, and Hoogland the Spirit Dragon, a Tassiger, and a Silence the Believers.
I like bringing in the Planeswalkers in this matchup and the 2 copies of Duress. We saw Jeff really struggle against Obzon in the post-board games with Den Protector backed up by a lot of discard spells, both for breaking up his curve and his synergies, and then Den Protector being a very hard card for him to kill. So the Duress is definitely the most important card in Danny's sideboard.
What does Jeff's brew got?
A Disdainful Stroke, 2 Displacement Waves, a Fated Retribution, a Hidden Dragon Slayer, 3 Last Breath, 2 Negate, a Perilous Vault, a Raise the Alarm, 2 Stratus Dancers, and a Valorous Stance. I think Valorous Stance, Perilous Vault, Disdainful Stroke, and particularly Fated Retribution, all good for this matchup.
Fated Retribution would have been really good for the last match we saw from Jeff. Just a timely Duress stopped that from happening.
Yeah, he had the game set up where Fated Retribution was going to be awesome, and it just got removed from his hand at the exact correct turn for Jeff's opponent.
Well, these players will shuffle up here for game number 2 relatively quickly, it appears, because not a lot of time left in this match, especially if Danny's looking to win it, which you have to imagine he is. However, the Season 3 on the Open Series is underway. We started things off with the Modern Grand Prix in Charlotte. Our champion was Michael Malone there with Elves in Modern. We had an Open Series in Indianapolis, won by Eric Rill with his Green Red Dragons deck. We had an Open in Baltimore, won by the Boz, Andrew Boswell, his first Open Series win with Obzon Aggro. Beat Chris Anderson in the finals, and soon enough, we'll have a champion here in Chicago.
Yep, and after that, we're going to head to Richmond next weekend for some more standard action. Off the following weekend for regionals, head over to StarStateGames.com/regionals for more information. A Legacy Open in Washington, D.C., and then the Standard Grand Prix in London. We go back to Charlotte for a Modern Open Series event, and then the Season 3 Invitational in New Jersey. Standard and Legacy as the invitational formats with a 2-day $20,000 Standard Open Series event, August 28th through the 30th.
Looking forward to all those dates. August going to be here before we know it, and then over before we know it, and all of a sudden it'll be September, and Season 4 will be underway, and then we'll be talking about at-large bids on the Open Series. We got game number 2 underway here between Danny Jessup and Jeff Hoogland. A Thoughtseize here. To give Danny an idea of exactly what Jeff is working with. You see a Hangerback Walker. And then Hostilities and a whole bunch of lands, actually.
And this is the type of hand that Jeff has that's a little light on action, where Den Protector getting back the discard spells, start clocking you. I think that's going to be challenging for Jeff to beat.
This game, I think so. Float a Trend, pass that turn back. Jessup will draw. Picked up a copy of Urboard. Here's a Courser. Clash of Wills was the top deck for Jeff. Gets to counter the Courser. Hoogland on tap. You know he's got lands and Hostilities. What land does he want to play is the question. He'll play a Mystic Monastery, pass the turn back over to Jessup. Jessup will draw, pick up a copy of Courser of Crewfix for the turn. Small squeeze here for Danny. I'm sure he'd like to play the Courser now and then try to hit a land on top of his deck, but he might be forced to just play a land so he can play around Clash of Wills. But he decided, you know what, let's just go for it.
I don't think he's going to play around 2 off the top.
Sure.
He knows the hand was just end Hostilities when he saw it, so if he's got it, he's got it.
Another Courser is the draw here for Jessup. Caves of Koilos. He will play at the top of his deck. Some card advantage here from the Courser. Top card is a Temple. In for 2 comes Jessup. Hoogland down to 17. Will Jessup fire off that Thoughtseize in hand? That's a question. He'll just pass for now. Hoogland will draw a card. He'll play an island, pass the turn back. Jessup will draw Temple of Malady. Top card of the deck is a Siege Rhino. Trigger the Courser from the Windswept Teeth. In for 2. Hoogland down to 15. Pass that turn back. Here's Dig Through Time. Jeff gets the opportunity to take a look at the top 7 cards and take 2 with him before going to his next turn.
Danny in a bit of a squeeze there as he knows about the sweeper, which gives him a disincentive to add to his board, but then that gives Jeff the opportunity to dig here at a pretty high life total and not under that much pressure.
It is a tough spot. No question. Danny will take a draw here. It's time for that discard spell now. And I think the best time to do it is post dig through time.
Yep.
Let's get an idea of what you actually took. And do you want to defend yourself with a counter spell? And if you do, the window's open for me to do something. You see the hand here. Clash of Wills, Dissolve, Elspeth and Hostilities, Artificer's Intuition. Excuse me, Artificer's Epiphany.
True or false? Swift Reckoning. An odd name for a sorcery.
Very true.
I mean, I know you can play it as an instant.
Aggressively true.
Like Portal 3 Kingdoms, for example. There's a card called Fire Ambush, and it's a sorcery.
Sure.
And sorceries, by definition, you see them coming. No one gets surprised by a sorcery, you know? Can't be an ambush. Boom.
Can't it, though? Can't it? Volcanic Hammer right there.
Yeah. Before you ask, yes, I do own 4 of these.
Why would I bother asking?
And before you ask, no, there's no reason.
Yeah. You never know when you got to break out something in the red box.
Right.
I understand. Is that card Legacy legal?
Yeah, Portal 3 Kingdoms is. Loyal Retainers and
Right.
Ravages of War and so forth.
Okay. You never see any cards from that set anymore. We used to see Loyal Retainers a little bit.
Imperial Recruiter.
Yeah. Courser. That's not from that set. Johnny, that is neither. That's a pretty good one, though. Here's Artificer's Epiphany. And Jeff does control a Dark Soul Citadel, so doesn't have to discard.
Got to sit on Dissolve.
Yep.
And then cast his card drawing spell without having the mana used on Dissolve. Being an instant, very significant.
There's a Tranquil Cove. A Johnny was the draw. Abzan Charm on top of the deck. In for 2 comes Jessup. We'll see how he wants to sequence his cards now. Again, he does have very powerful cards in his hand. Sea Drive is going to get countered. Temple Epiphany here from Jeff. He kept that on top very quickly. Now here's Elspeth. Abzan Charm will be the draw. Thoughts he's on top of the deck.
Jeff, I appreciate the little thumbs up there. Still getting used to the creatures and planeswalkers in front, lands in the back.
Ah, yes.
He was a lands in front player for many
Yes, he
many
was.
moons. Still getting adjusted. I appreciate the effort there.
Here is Abzan Charm. Thoughtseize is 1. Hero's Downfall is 2. Ring-a-ding-ding.
Okay, those will play.
Yes, they will. And a sacrifice. Go get a basic planes. Stay at the same life total because Courser's on the battlefield. Pretty gosh darn good Abzan Charm there. Could even consider going as the top cards of duress, the Ajani route.
I like getting a look at the hand and probably killing the Elspeth. Day's got so many good resources to work with right now that just shore up what's happening right in front of you. Let the cards in your hand take over at a later point.
Well, there goes an Hostilities. It's 2 islands, so I like it more now. Hero's Downfall, that Elspeth, and get back to work. Yep, there's Downfall. Just got 2 islands, 3 soldiers on the battlefield. Nothing else. He's going to need a good draw. Okay. I have a feeling he knew that was there.
Yep.
Unless he's just aggressively turning over the top card of his deck, hoping it's dig through time.
I know it's beat. I know I'm beat if it's not dig through time. So.
Yeah. Jeff will take a look at the top 7. He's found 2 he's happy with. That was a swift reckoning. And now Thopter Spy Network and attack. Well, we're swinging back and forth here a little bit.
Darksteel Citadel, ready to go.
Yep. Can't get that one off the battlefield. Take a draw. And Duress no good now. Elspeth's still pretty good.
Nothing wrong with Elspeth.
Yeah.
Though we've seen before, Jeff has been able to brute force his way through this card.
A couple of times.
It's not pretty, but it's not the end of the world.
There's Elspeth. 3 soldiers coming. Hoogland will untap. He'll take a draw here. He'll also get that Thopter because of the Spy Network. Does control Darksteel Citadel, as Patrick mentioned. There's an island. We all knew about that one from that Thoughtseize a little bit earlier. And now it's time to attack. Well, Fated Retribution. Pretty good. And Jeff gets to scry too. Those both are going to the bottom. Just 2 lands. Jessup will draw. Temple of Silence. This one ain't over by a long shot, though. He's got a Johnny, and he gets it activated. This is going up. Take a look at the top couple of cards. See if he can find a creature or a planeswalker. He found both. 2 Siege Rhinos and an Elspeth are the options here. Boy, oh boy. Jessup's remaining 2 cards are a Temple of Silence along with a Duress. Hoogland has no cards in hand, so Duress is pretty poor. And the Temple of Silence enters battlefield tap, so he can't just take Siege Rhino, play Siege Rhino.
And that's why, Jeff's Fated Retribution might have looked a little bit preemptive there, but he knew about the Duress, knew it was about to get taken away anyway, so he wasn't going to get any more out of Danny than the Elspeth, and by playing it on his own turn, Jeff got to scry too.
Jeff just make a token. That's it, though. See if Danny wants to lead out with Duress. I feel like he does.
Jeff's deck has so many reactive cards that it seems worth casting.
Yeah. Johnny going up. Nissa among the cards. Kind of like that. I just really want to see Nissa get played.
Flipped over and make a token, start going to work.
Yeah. I am who I am. I make no apologies.
But it's also really hard to give up Den Protector against Jeff's deck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the game's gone on for a long time, and he just does not answer that card very effectively.
So Danny's like me. He sees Nissa. And now he sees Elspeth. Turn up the heat here a little bit. 3 soldier tokens. Now Jeff's going to have to draw really well. We know he's got a Tranquil Cove in hand. Danny going to scry top card to the bottom. Another Thopter. Time to attack. Not going to bother hitting the Planeswalkers because Jeff needs a card. Did he find something good? He'll start by playing the Cove. He's up to 13. He found something good.
Hoogland qualifies, though. There is some awkwardness here with the
Spy Network.
Spy Network, yeah. It's unfortunate for Jeff.
Draw a card. Here's Nissa. So this is an interesting situation because this last turn, Danny could have taken Den Protector, chose Nissa. So now we can imagine what Den Protector would have done this game.
Yeah.
Maybe, get something back and maybe die to the Ugin and what have you. Now we can see what Nissa would do this game, which is search up a forest, play it, flip it, make a token, maybe. Maybe he just pluses it, we'll see.
The alternative is he just gets back a Den Protector, downfalls the Hoogland, because he has a downfall in his graveyard.
Sure.
And then has Den Protector against very little.
Read the Bones is the card that was revealed. So now Danny's going to cast that. He'll scry. Siege Rhino is one. Temple is another. I like a Siege Rhino here. He doesn't like either. Hello. 1 and 2. Another Read the Bones.
He may just really be in the market for downfall or a way to get a downfall back.
Well, I feel like Siege Rhino can just outpace that Hoogland right now. Gaining the life is important, going up to 10. Having a body out there that has trample like that is pretty important too against these stopper tokens. There's no chump blocking allowed. Now Jeff plays a morph.
He has a hidden Dragon Slayer in his sideboard.
Okay. Would have killed Siege Rhino. Hero's Downfall to draw. Timely. Read the Bones in hand. This is getting a little complicated now.
Yeah. And Danny's life total is going from 5 to 3 here.
Yeah.
Does not have a clean answer to those stopper tokens. What a bizarre game, because it seemed like Danny had all sorts of advantages.
It certainly did feel that way,
But
certainly for moments.
Jeff's done a great job of playing empty-handed, and that was something that he couldn't really do the last time we had it on camera.
Yep.
The discard spells have not been good for Danny in this game. I mean, the first one was, but as opposed to the last match we had Jeff on camera against Abzan, where every time a duress or Thoughtseize got cast, it felt like too much for Jeff to overcome.
Abzan Charm's going to put Jessup down to 1. And there's nothing doing here. All I can do is sing the hand. Jeff Hoogland's going to win this match over Danny Jessup. 2 games to 0. Blue-white control will take care of Abzan control. And I know this blue-white control deck looks like a bit of a brew, but Jeff is 7-1 with this thing. He's into day 2.
Yep, congratulations to Jeff. Very good performance. You know, we did have him on camera earlier during his one loss, but otherwise has not been touched. And we'll be seeing him, I'm sure, on camera at some point tomorrow as well.